Mowgli by Rudyard Kipling. Chapter 1. The Man Cub.
It was 7 o'clock one warm evening in the jungle. Father Wolf woke up in his cave and stretched sleepily in the moonlight. Mother Wolf lay nearby with her 4 sweet little cubs. Suddenly, they heard Shere Khan, the old tiger who lived near the river 20 miles away. He was roaring angrily. Shere Khan had a bad leg, so he usually hunted only cows near the village because they ran slowly. But this night was different. He was noisy and hungry for something else. Mother Wolf knew what.
He's hunting a man tonight.
Father Wolf was not happy. The law of the jungle says an animal can kill or eat man only when teaching its children. There were many such laws in the jungle. All the animals followed them because they knew that there was always a good reason for these laws. Shere Khan's roar grew louder, ending in a short, terrible cry. Mother Wolf knew what that meant.
He's missed. But wait! Something's coming up the hill. Get ready!
The leaves moved and the wolves heard a small noise near the cave. Father Wolf was ready to jump at any enemy. But then he saw a little brown baby walk out of the trees. The baby looked up into Father Wolf's face and laughed.
A man's cub. Look!
Mother Wolf looked in wonder at the baby.
Is that a human baby? I've never seen one before. Bring it here.
Father Wolf carefully picked up the baby in his mouth and put it down next to his own cubs.
How little, yet how brave,
said Mother Wolf softly. She watched the baby push its way in beside the other cubs and begin to eat with them. Suddenly, Shere Khan's huge square head filled the mouth of the cave.
What brings you here, Shere Khan?
Father Wolf's words were polite, but his eyes were angry.
A human baby went this way. Give it to me.
The hungry tiger roared.
The wolves are free and take orders only from the head of the pack.
Shere Khan roared more loudly, and Mother Wolf jumped forward, her eyes shining like 2 bright green moons.
Rawr! The baby is ours. He will not be killed. He will live to run with the pack and hunt with the pack. And in the end, he will hunt you. Now go!
Father Wolf was surprised. He forgot how she was when they first met. Like all she-wolves, she was terrifying and dangerous when she was angry. Shere Khan understood too and backed out of the cave, still hungry and growling.
The pack must decide.
When they were alone, Mother Wolf laid herself over her cubs and Father Wolf spoke to her seriously.
Shere Khan is right. We must present the baby to the pack. Do you think they will let us keep him, Mother?
Father, he came by night, alone and hungry, yet he was not afraid. We must keep him.
Mother Wolf named the baby Mowgli. She and Father Wolf knew they had to follow the law of the jungle. By jungle law, when a wolf marries and has cubs, he must present them to the pack council. There, the other wolves must look at them well to remember what they look like. When they know their faces, they cannot kill them by mistake. Any wolf who kills a cub must die himself. Then the cubs are free to run where they please until they are old enough to kill for their own food. This meeting was held every month, under the full moon at Council Rock. On this night, there were about 40 wolves of every size and colour at the meeting place. Akela was the leader of the pack. He was a great grey wolf who hunted alone and so was known as the Lone Wolf. When it was time, Father Wolf pushed Mowgli into the centre of the circle. The baby sat there, laughing and playing with some small stones. Then, out of the dark, they all heard the voice of Shere Khan.
This baby is not a wolf. He's mine. Give him to me.
There was much growling and snarling, but they listened to Akela. His eyes moved around the circle of wolves.
Look well, O wolves. Look well. Remember the face of this cub and keep him safe. Remember, too, that we do not take orders from anyone outside the pack.
Just then, a 4-year-old spoke up.
Indeed. What do we need a human baby for?
The law of the jungle says that if there is an argument about a cub joining the pack, 2 others of the pack who are not his father or mother must speak for him. Who speaks for this baby?
There was only one other animal the wolves let speak at the council meetings, and that was Baloo, the sleepy brown bear who taught new cubs the ways of the jungle. He slowly stepped forward into the circle.
I speak for the man's baby. Let him run with the pack. I myself will teach him.
There was total silence, finally broken by Akela.
We need another voice.
A black shadow quietly entered the circle. It was Bagheera, the Black Panther, his silky coat shining in the moonlight. Everybody in the jungle knew Bagheera and respected his power and his wisdom. He was both clever and brave, and everybody stayed out of his way. Although he came to the meetings at Council Rock, he did not speak. But this evening, in a voice as soft as honey, he said,
The law says that someone can buy the life of a cub, but it does not say who can or cannot buy it. May I speak?
The hungry young wolves all howled together.
Speak then!
Cried the voices of the council in the dark.
It's a shame to kill a cub. I ask to buy the life of this baby for the price of 1 fat bull, newly killed.
There was much growling and noise as all the wolves spoke at the same time. They agreed that the baby was no danger to them. Then came Akela's deep cry.
Look well! Look well, O wolves!
One by one, they went to look at the new cub. Mowgli was still playing and laughing. He did not know yet that he was now one of the pack.
Chapter 2. Lessons in the Jungle. As
the years passed, Mowgli grew up with the wolf cubs. Father Wolf taught him the sounds of the jungle. Mowgli came to understand every noise in the grass, every call of every owl and bat, and every splash of every fish in the pond. When he was not learning, he sat out in the sun and slept and ate and went to sleep again. When he felt dirty and hot, he swam in the jungle ponds. Baloo taught him that honey and nuts were just as pleasant as meat.
You don't always need to hunt. Nuts and honey are good too, if you know where to look.
Bagheera showed him how to climb the trees to get them.
Come up, little brother. Let me show you how to do it.
He became very good at climbing and soon swung from tree to tree as freely as any great ape. Mowgli took his place with the wolves at Council Rock. They were his pack, and he believed he was one of them. Mowgli, however, was young, and he saw everything as a game. He could be naughty, he could be kind. He discovered that he could look straight into the eyes of the wolves and make them turn their eyes away from him. At other times, he picked thorns out of their feet. By night, he went down the hillside to the village and watched the villagers from a distance. During the night, Bagheera taught him to hunt for food in the jungle. Hunting was for food only, never for fun.
And never kill cows, young or old, for a bull was the price I paid for you. That is the law of the jungle.
Mother Wolf warned him too about Shere Khan.
You cannot trust the tiger. One day, you must kill him.
Other years and other lessons in the jungle were easier. Mowgli loved better than anything to go into the warm, dark heart of the jungle with Bagheera or Baloo. The big old brown bear was happy to have a quick pupil. The boy could climb almost as well as he could swim, and swim almost as well as he could run. Baloo taught him the wood and water laws.
By the law of the jungle, when there's little water, no animal can kill another at the drinking places. Water is more important than food in difficult times.
He also taught him how to speak to all the animals. Mowgli, being a man's child and not a wolf cub, learned quickly and remembered his lessons well. One day, Mowgli, like all small boys, did not want to have a lesson.
Again, Mowgli.
All right.
He was tired of repeating the same thing over and over again 100 times. But Baloo did not give up.
A man's child is not like a wolf cub. He must learn all the law of the jungle.
Bagheera thought that Baloo was sometimes too strict with the boy.
Ouch!
But think how small he is. How can his little head remember so much, Baloo?
Is there anything in the jungle too little to be killed? No. That's why I teach him these things. And that's why I hit him. Very softly, when he forgets.
Softly? Huh. His face is all black and blue today from your softness.
It's better than dying at the hand of an enemy. I'm teaching him the master words of the jungle. He must learn how to say, "We are of the same blood, you and I," in all languages. He must remember these words to protect himself.
Bagheera called Mowgli down from the tree.
I want to hear these master words. Come, little brother.
My head is ringing like a bee tree,
said an unhappy little voice over their heads. But Mowgli came down.
I come for Bagheera and not for you, fat old Baloo.
Baloo was not worried. He was used to his little friend. and asked Mowgli to show Bagheera what he knew. Mowgli loved to do this.
The jungle has many tongues. I know them all.
Mowgli growled like a bear, then sang like a bird. But best of all was his snake noise. A perfect hiss. Mowgli was very pleased with this. He clapped his hands, jumped on Bagheera's back,
look at this!
and made funny faces at Baloo, who said,
Mowgli will be afraid of no one.
Except his own tribe. The young wolves still don't think he's one of the pack.
Bagheera was quiet and serious as Mowgli danced up and down on his back. Mowgli wanted them to listen to him.
I shall have my own tribe, and they'll follow me through the treetops all day long. They have promised.
Bagheera looked quickly at Baloo. They were worried. Now they knew where Mowgli's words came from. The monkeys.
Chapter 3. Taken by the Monkeys.
Mowgli did meet the monkeys. He met them in the jungle and saw that they stood on 2 legs like he did. The monkeys thought they were very clever. They gave Mowgli nuts and berries to eat and said that he was their brother and promised to make him their leader one day. Both Bagheera and Baloo knew the monkeys were trouble. Monkeys did not follow the law of the jungle, and Mowgli had to learn this.
They have no leader. They lie. They have always lied.
Baloo was as angry as Bagheera.
Listen, Mowgli. I've taught you all the laws of all the animals of the jungle, except the monkeys. Don't you wonder why? They have no law. Their way is not our way.
Just then, a shower of nuts and leaves rained down on their heads. Ouch! This is what the monkeys did to make the other jungle animals notice them. They wanted to be part of the jungle and were pleased when Mowgli came to play with them, instead of spending time with Baloo and Bagheera. They wanted Mowgli for their leader to make the other animals in the jungle jealous. So that day they quietly followed the 3 friends through the jungle. In the afternoon, Bagheera and Baloo lay down to sleep, with Mowgli between them. Suddenly, monkey hands grabbed the sleeping boy, pulling him high up into the trees. The monkeys were very proud of themselves for stealing Mowgli, and very pleased when they saw the look on Bagheera's face. Baloo woke all the jungle with his angry cries, and Bagheera jumped high up into the nearest tree. But the monkeys moved on top of the trees, and they travelled far and fast. At first it was exciting for Mowgli to see for miles and miles across the jungle as they flew through the treetops. But soon he grew angry, and he started to think about how to escape and get back to Baloo and Bagheera. He looked up and saw Chill, the eagle, flying high in the sky.
We're of the same blood, you and I. The monkeys have stolen me. Watch the way they take me. Tell Baloo and Bagheera of the Council Rock.
Chill nodded his head to show he understood, and then flew higher to follow them. Chill, too, knew the ways of the monkeys.
They never go far, my friend. They never do what they plan to do. This time they will have trouble with Baloo and Bagheera.
Bagheera and Baloo were mad with fear and worry.
Why didn't you warn the boy, Baloo?
Baloo ran hard, thinking he could catch the monkeys.
We may catch them yet.
But you can't run fast enough. Sit down and think. Make a plan.
Baloo was always ready for action. Bagheera always used his head. But finally, it was Baloo who had the answer.
I've got it. What a fat, stupid bear I've been. The monkeys are afraid of Kaa, the rock snake. He can climb as well as they can. He steals the baby monkeys at night. Let's go to Kaa and ask him to help us.
Bagheera did not know Kaa well. He was not sure that this was a good idea, but Baloo was hopeful.
He's very old and clever. Above all, he is always hungry. We can get him to help if we promise him many goats.
Together, shoulder to shoulder, the two worried friends ran off to find the snake. Kaa was a python, not a poison snake, so his strength was in his huge body, not his teeth. In fact, he thought poison snakes were cowards. Baloo and Bagheera found him relaxing on a rock in the warm sun, looking at his beautiful new skin, which always took 10 days to change. The great python was doing fantastic twists and turns with his long body. Baloo knew he was thinking of his next meal and warned Bagheera to be careful.
He hasn't eaten, and that is good. But he can't see well after changing his skin. He could hit out at anything.
The wise bear shouted a greeting to let Kaa know who was coming near, and then approached slowly.
Good hunting, Kaa.
The great python stretched himself to see who spoke, then greeted Baloo and Bagheera.
Oh, Baloo, what are you doing here? Good hunting, Bagheera. Any good food nearby? I'm as hungry as can be.
We're hunting.
Baloo knew that you must not hurry Kaa. He was too big and too dangerous.
Let me come with you. I usually wait for days on the path, and the branches of the trees are not always strong. I nearly fell last time. The monkeys woke up and called me names.
Bagheera took this chance to tell Kaa all the terrible things the monkey said about him.
Footless yellow earthworm.
They called me that.
Something of that kind. They say you eat only baby goats because you're afraid of anything bigger.
Now a python, especially Kaa, very seldom shows his anger. But Baloo and Bagheera could see that he was very angry now.
We're actually hunting them, Kaa.
What makes two hunters like you follow the monkeys?
Bagheera spoke clearly.
The trouble is this, Kaa. Those monkeys have stolen our man cub.
There were stories in the jungle about a man cub, Stories Kaa did not believe, but Bagheera saw his chance.
We know the monkeys are afraid only of you, Kaa.
Kaa remembered the name-calling and decided to help. Just then, Chil the eagle flew down. He gave them Mowgli's message.
They have taken him to the lost city.
This made Baloo proud of his little pupil. Chil told them which way to go. Bagheera knew it was far.
It'll take half a night at full speed. We cannot wait for you, Baloo. Follow us. Kaa and I must go fast.
Chapter 4 The Lost City.
The monkeys arrived with Mowgli at the lost city that afternoon. The old city was built many years ago on a little hill, deep inside the jungle. No one lived there now except the monkeys. The city walls were all broken and the houses were falling down. Only the water tanks, which collected fresh rainwater, still stood to the side of a terrace in the center of the city. The monkeys didn't care about the buildings. They only cared about themselves.
There's no one in the jungle as wise and clever as we are.
There's no one in the jungle as wise and clever as we are.
Mowgli, who knew only the law of the jungle, did not like or understand their chanting. He was tired and hungry, but the monkeys sang and danced around Mowgli on the terrace and kept him awake. They asked him to teach them how to make a shelter, and he showed them what to do. But soon they lost interest and went back to the treetops. Then Mowgli remembered Baloo's words.
This is a very bad place. All that Baloo said about the monkeys was true. They have no law and no leader. Nothing but silly words and stealing little hands. I must try to go back to my own part of the jungle.
There were hundreds and hundreds of monkeys around Mowgli now, and the noise was terrible. Mowgli tried to find an opening in the wall where he could escape, but the monkeys always stopped him. They pulled him back to the center of the terrace.
Don't go away. We're wonderful. You can't leave us.
They're all mad,
thought Mowgli sleepily, as he looked at a cloud about to cross the moon. Kaa and Bagheera saw the same cloud as they hid below the city wall. They knew how dangerous the monkeys were in large numbers. They never fought unless there were more than 100 of them. But Kaa had a plan.
I'm going over the west wall. I'll meet you on the terrace when that cloud covers the moon.
But it took Kaa longer than he thought to get over the wall. So, Bagheera, after running quickly and silently, found himself alone in the middle of the monkeys. There was a terrible fight as all the monkeys jumped on the panther.
He's alone! Kill him!
At the same time, 5 or 6 other monkeys took Mowgli to a ruined greenhouse in the middle of the terrace. They pushed him in through a hole in the roof, and he fell a long way down. Luckily, he knew from Baloo's lessons how to land on his feet. Out of the darkness, Mowgli heard the hissing of snakes, and he quickly gave the snake call.
We are of one blood, you and I.
Even so, little brother, stand still, or you will step on us.
The floor of the old greenhouse was alive with many cobras, the deadliest of snakes. Mowgli stood quietly, listening to the terrible noise of the fight above his head. Bagheera had to fight for his life for the first time. Mowgli could not hear Baloo, but guessed he was near. Then he shouted up to the panther.
To the tank, Bagheera! Row to the water tank! Dive in! Get to the water!
Bagheera heard, and knowing Mowgli was safe, gave him new strength. He slowly fought his way to the water tank. Then suddenly, from under the wall nearest the jungle, they heard Baloo's war cry. The old bear came as quickly as he could.
Bagheera, I'm here. I'm climbing up. Wait, I'm coming.
Baloo jumped down into the middle of the monkeys and began hitting them with his huge paws. Mowgli heard a splash and knew Bagheera was in the water where the monkeys could not follow. But they were all around him, and afraid, the panther gave the snake call.
We are of one blood, you and I.
He was worried that Kaa was gone. Baloo was surprised when he heard the great panther calling for help. Mang the bat, who watched the great battle from the air, carried the news to all the jungle. The birds, the deer, all the others, even Hathi, the wise old leader of the elephants, heard about it. Other monkeys heard and came to help their friends. For miles around, the birds chattered excitedly. Then Kaa appeared, straight and fast and ready to kill. He was 30 feet long and weighed half a ton. He attacked at the heart of the monkeys, near Baloo.
Kaa! It's Kaa! Run! Run!
The monkeys ran and jumped, terrified, to the tops of the walls and into the trees. Baloo was very pleased to see Kaa. Even though his fur was thick, it was not enough to protect him from the monkeys' sharp teeth. Kaa opened his great mouth and spoke one long, hissing word. The monkeys nearby were suddenly quiet, and the monkeys which were far away froze in the branches of the trees. Everything was quiet. The monkeys knew and feared the great python. Mowgli heard Bagheera shake his wet body as he came out of the tank.
Get the boy out of that hole. I can do no more. Let's take him and go before the monkeys attack again.
But Kaa knew better.
They will not move until I say so. I heard you call for help, Bagheera.
Did I? I don't remember. Baloo, are you hurt?
I feel like they have pulled me into 100 little pieces. Kaa, you saved our lives.
No matter. Where is the boy?
They heard Mowgli call out from the greenhouse.
Bagheera, I'm here!
Kaa found a weak spot in the wall and broke it with his head. Mowgli was free. The three friends were very happy to be together again. Kaa looked at Mowgli with interest.
So, this is the boy. Very like a monkey. Be careful I don't mistake you for one the next time my skin changes.
We're of one blood, you and I. You saved my life. If you're ever hungry, come to me for goats. Or if you ever need help, come to me. Good hunting.
Baloo was pleased with his pupil. Kaa put his head on Mowgli's shoulder.
A brave heart and a polite tongue. You will go far in the jungle.
Chapter 5 Man's Red Flower.
10 years had passed, and Shere Khan still remembered the night that Father Wolf took the boy away from him. Akela and Mowgli's parents were old and weak now. They couldn't protect him forever. Soon the tiger would be able to take Mowgli for himself without a fight. He had a plan. He needed to make the young wolves think he was their friend. Then he could make them believe that the boy did not belong in the pack. Shere Khan hunted with them, shared his kill with them, and spoke gently, like a brother, to them.
How can you, such fine hunters, follow a dying wolf and a boy?
The young wolves listened, and their innocent hearts trusted their new friend. The tiger was right. Mowgli was not one of them. Bagheera, who had eyes and ears everywhere, knew something of this plan and again tried to warn Mowgli.
Little brother, how often have I told you that Shere Khan is your enemy?
As many times as there are nuts on that tree. What of it? Shere Khan is all long tail and loud talk.
Open your eyes, Mowgli. Akela is very old, and soon he won't be able to protect you. For now you're safe, because Shere Khan cannot kill you in the jungle. It's against the law. I told you this a long time ago. But he's made many of the younger wolves believe that you don't belong with the pack. In a short time, you'll be a man, and you'll leave the pack and the jungle. Then he'll be free to kill you.
But I was born in the jungle. I have followed the law of the jungle. I have pulled thorns from the feet of all our wolves. They are my brothers. Surely they will not make me go.
Listen to me, Mowgli. Not even I, Bagheera, who love you, can look you in the eyes. No animal can. That is why they hate you. Even though I was born among men in the king's palace at Udaipur, I must turn my eyes away from yours when you look at me, because you are a man. We're not equal, little brother, and you are not a wolf.
I had no idea.
Bagheera knew that soon there would be a jungle council at the rock.
Little brother, the pack could turn against you at the next meeting. But I have an idea. Go quickly down to the man's village and take some of the red flour from their pots. Then, when the time comes, you will have a stronger friend than I or Baloo or those of the pack that love you. Get the red flour.
Every animal in the jungle feared the red flower, what man called fire. Mowgli agreed, and before he left, he put his arm around the panther's beautiful silky black neck and looked deep into his eyes.
Are you sure Shere Khan is behind all this?
I am sure, little brother.
Then by the bull that bought me, I will pay him back for this.
When Mowgli arrived at the village, he looked through one of the windows of a hut and saw a fire. He stayed by the window until early morning, when he saw a child pick up a pot and put red-hot pieces from the fire in it.
Is that all? If a child can do it, I can do it.
Moving like Bagheera himself, he walked quietly round the corner of the hut and grabbed the fire pot. Before the boy could cry out, Mowgli turned and ran into the jungle. All that day he sat in a cave, looking after the fire, feeding it with dry sticks and leaves. He found a good dry branch to use later as a torch. That night he went to Council Rock, smiling. Akela did not lie on his rock that night, but next to it, to show he was not the leader anymore. Bagheera lay close to Mowgli, who had the fire pot between his feet. For the first time at a council meeting, Shere Khan dared to speak. Bagheera spoke quietly into Mowgli's ear.
Shere Khan has no place here. Say so.
Mowgli jumped to his feet.
Does Shere Khan lead the pack now? What right does a tiger have to speak?
The pack has no leader. So they have asked me to speak.
Who has? The pack alone chooses a new leader.
There were angry cries from the younger wolves.
Silence, boy. Let the tiger speak. He keeps our law.
But the older wolves of the pack spoke up.
No! Let Aquila speak.
Aquila was old now, and he'd lifted his old head with difficulty and spoke to the council.
For 12 years I have been your leader. Last night I missed my kill. The law says you can kill me now, here on Council Rock. So I ask, will anyone here take my life tonight? The law says you can fight me only one by one.
There was a long silence. No wolf wanted to fight Aquila to the death. Then Shere Khan cried out,
Oh, leave this old wolf. He will die anyway. It is the boy who has lived too long. He was mine from the start. Give me the boy!
More than half the pack howled with one voice full of hate.
A man! What has a man got to do with us? Send him back to his own place.
Aquila tried to calm the angry wolves.
He's our brother.
But the pack was different now, angry, and many took Shere Khan's side. Mowgli stood up slowly. He tried to look calm, but he was filled with pain and anger.
Very well. If you don't want me for your brother, I will not call you brothers anymore. You're acting like dogs, so I'll treat you like dogs.
He threw the firepot on the ground, and flames jumped up as the dry grass caught fire. The wolves all moved back in fear. Mowgli quickly put his branch into the fire and waved it around above his head.
Good! I see that you are dogs. You want me to go, and so I will. There will be no war between any of us in the pack. But there's something I must finish first.
At this, Mowgli bravely walked up to Shere Khan. He hit him on the head with a flaming torch. The tiger cried out in fear, but Mowgli shouted in his face.
Ha! Burnt jungle cat! Go now! But remember, when I next come to Council Rock, you will be dead, and I will bring your coat. And for the rest of you dogs, not one of you will touch Aquila, for that is my will. He will live free as he pleases. Go now!
The torch burned brightly in the night, as Mowgli once more waved it in their faces. Howling, they all ran off into the forest.
Chapter 6. The End of Shere Khan.
After the meeting at Council Rock, something began to hurt Mowgli inside him. He could not breathe, and tears ran down his face.
What is this, Bagheera? Am I dying?
No, little brother. These are only men's tears. Let them fall.
So Mowgli sat and cried for the first time in his life. His heart was broken.
Now I will go to men, but first I must say goodbye to my mother.
He went to the cave where she lived with Father Wolf and cried on her coat while the 4 cubs howled sadly.
You'll not forget me?
Never. We'll wait for you every night at the bottom of the hill.
Father Wolf rubbed his nose against Mowgli's face.
Come soon, Mowgli. Come again soon. Your mother and I are very old.
Yes, come soon, my little son. And remember, I've loved you more than my own cubs.
I will come. Don't forget me. Tell them in the jungle never to forget me.
the jungle and walked many miles until he found a village far away. There was a woman in this village named Mesua. Many years earlier, a tiger took her boy off into the jungle. So the village gave Mowgli a place with her and her husband. Mesua wanted to believe it was her lost son.
What the jungle has taken, the jungle has given back.
Mowgli found men's ways strange. At bedtime, he slept in the long, clean grass in the field. He did not understand why people slept inside. He knew, however, that he must learn to talk. As he learned all the tongues of the animals, now he must learn man's tongue. So, he repeated every word he heard Mesua speak. One night, Grey Brother, one of Mowgli's 4 wolf brothers, found him in the cool grass.
Wake up, little brother. I bring news.
Mowgli was very happy to see him.
Is everyone in the jungle well, Grey Brother?
All but the wolves that were burned with the red flower. We miss you. We remember the days in the cave as cubs together. We remember the years we 5 grew up in the jungle together. But listen, Shere Khan has gone away for a time. However, he will be back again to kill you. When I come again, I'll wait for you in the bamboos. We'll talk of what is new.
For 3 months, Mowgli stayed in the village, learning how men live. The hardest thing he had to learn was how to wear men's clothes and what money was. Sometimes the little children made him angry when they laughed because he could not say some words.
Mesua.
Luckily, the law of the jungle taught him to keep calm. In the evenings, he sat listening to the old men tell stories. One night, they spoke of the tiger that took Mesua's son. They said it was a ghost tiger.
It was a tiger with a bad leg.
Mowgli knew they spoke of Shere Khan. The village leader gave Mowgli the job of looking after a herd of cows and bulls. Day after day, Mowgli took them to eat on the green hillside near the village gate and drink from the stream at the bottom of it. He met Grey Brother many times, and they spoke of Shere Khan. One day, Grey Brother came with Akela, and they had news.
I've heard Shere Khan tell his plan to a jackal. He'll wait for you at the village gate this evening. Now he's resting by the stream at the bottom of the ravine.
Has he eaten?
He killed early this morning. He drank water too.
Good. He's stupid. Now he's too full to fight. We must attack him first, while he's resting from his kill.
Mowgli jumped on the back of one of the great bulls and gave the orders.
Akela! Grey Brother! Cut the herd into 2 groups. Grey Brother, take the cows to one end of the ravine. Akela and I will take the bulls to the other. Move quietly until you get there. Watch my hand. When I wave, we will attack.
They soon had the herd in 2 and moving fast. Some children saw all this and ran to tell the men of the village. Mowgli's plan was simple. He wanted to trap Shere Khan between the cows and the bulls. He knew that after a meal and a full drink, the tiger would not be able to fight or climb. Soon everyone was in place and Mowgli waved. Akela howled and the herd rushed forward.
Shere Khan! It is I, Mowgli! I'm keeping my promise! Your skin will be on Council Rock tonight!
Shere Khan woke up in shock and began to move slowly, looking for a way out. There was none. The walls of the ravine were too high to climb, so he turned to face the bulls. There was a noise like thunder, and the old tiger disappeared under their feet. Soon it was over, and Shere Khan lay dead. Mowgli was the killer of the beast everyone feared.
Chapter 7. Rescuing Mesua.
Mowgli took his knife and started to remove Shere Khan's skin. Just then the chief hunter from the village came, shouting for the boy to leave. He wanted to take the skin for himself and tell the village that he was the killer of the great tiger. But Mowgli was not afraid. He was angry.
Akela, this man is annoying me.
In a moment, the hunter found himself on the ground with Akela on top of him. The old grey wolf showed his teeth and growled until the man cried out in terror.
Please, I beg you, don't let this beast kill me!
Go, and don't bother me again. Akela, let him go.
The hunter ran terrified back to the village, telling everyone that Mowgli was a magic boy who could talk to wolves. So when Mowgli returned to the village with the herd, the people threw stones and shouted at him.
Wolf child! Go back to your jungle!
Not again. Last time they sent me away from the jungle because I was a man. This time they're sending me away from the village because I'm a wolf. Let's go, Akela.
Much later that night, Mowgli and the two wolves stopped at Mother Wolf's cave on their way to Council Rock.
They made me leave the man's pack, Mother. But I come with the coat of Shere Khan. I've kept my word.
Mother Wolf's eyes shone brightly.
I told him on that day when he came to this cave, hunting you, my son. I said to him, the boy will kill you one day. Well done.
They heard another deep voice from the tall grass. Bagheera came running to Mowgli's feet.
Well done, little brother. We were lonely in the jungle without you.
They all climbed up to Council Rock together. The pack still had no leader, but the wolves came, all that were left of them. They watched Mowgli place Shere Khan's skin on Akela's old stone. Mowgli then danced on the dead tiger's skin, while Akela and Grey Brother howled. The next day, Mowgli was in the cave with his family, Baloo and Bagheera. The animals were pleased to have him back. Mowgli lay with his head on Mother Wolf.
I never want to see, hear, or smell a man again.
Suddenly the animals stood still, noses in the air. Grey Brother stood up and went carefully towards the mouth of the cave.
Men from the village.
They've come for me.
Don't worry, little brother. We'll kill them before nightfall.
No, wait. Let's find out what they're after.
They followed Mowgli into the trees. As they came near the men, staying quietly behind the trees, Mowgli heard the voice of the chief hunter.
He's a wolf's child. He stole the tiger's skin from me. We must find him and kill him. His parents, Mesua and her husband, are locked inside their hut. When we go back to the village, we'll kill them too.
Mowgli was afraid for the only people he cared about in the village. He knew he had to help them, so he set off back to the village. Mother Wolf followed. She wanted to see Mowgli's other mother. It was dark, but Mowgli quickly found Mesua's hut. When he looked inside and saw them tied up, he felt angry in a way he did not understand. Moving like Kaa, he quietly slipped through the window and freed them.
Who did this to you? Someone must pay.
The villagers! They're afraid of you! We must die because we're your parents!
The village was quiet because everyone was afraid and they were locked up in their houses. He decided to help Mesua and her husband get through the jungle to a safe place. They listened to his plan and agreed that it was their only chance.
Don't be afraid if you hear strange noises in the jungle. Nothing will harm you. I promise.
I believe you, my son.
Mesua cried softly as they hurried off into the night. Mother Wolf appeared in the shadows nearby. She called to Mowgli.
I'll go with them. They'll be safe.
Mowgli and the 4 brothers stayed behind to make sure that no man from the village followed. The next morning, Mother Wolf sent Chill, the eagle, with a message. Mesua and her husband were safe in a new village, 30 miles away. Mowgli, however, was still angry with the villagers because of what they did to Mesua and her husband. He hated them all and wanted to punish them. Only Hathi the elephant could help him. Only he was wise and strong enough. Mowgli found the elephants coming out of the river. He spoke respectfully and explained to the great creature how much he and Mesua suffered because of the villagers.
Hathi, leader of the elephants, I come to you for help. Make these bad people leave the village. Let the jungle come back to this place.
Mowgli did not want any of the people killed. He only wanted the elephants to make them leave. He did not understand all that he was feeling, but Hathi and his herd knew how evil men could be and agreed that the people should go. The elephants didn't hurry. They had a plan. They circled the village, and within a week, they ate all the vegetables in the fields. Then, they freed the bulls and cows. Now the villagers had no food. Still, they stayed. But when the elephants crushed the fences under their huge feet and pulled the roofs from the huts, the villagers ran away in terror. In a few months, the rains came and washed away everything that was left. By the end of the rainy season, the village was gone. Man was gone.
Chapter 8. The Red Dogs.
When Mowgli was 15 years old, Father Wolf and Mother Wolf died. Mowgli was very sad as he pushed a big rock against the mouth of their cave. He stood there and cried the death song for them. Baloo was now very old, and Bagheera hunted a little more slowly. Akela turned from grey to white with old age, and Mowgli did his hunting for him. The wolf pack had a new leader, Phao, and began once more to follow the jungle law and meet at Council Rock. Mowgli still did not hunt with the pack, but the wolves listened to him when he spoke at their meetings at Council Rock. Early one evening, Mowgli was out hunting with his 4 wolf brothers. Suddenly they heard a terrible cry. Everyone in the jungle knew this cry and knew an animal was in great danger. All the wolves of the pack ran to Council Rock. Mothers hid their cubs in their caves. Then they heard the call of a wolf, one who had no pack.
Dolls! Dolls!
A thin and tired wolf appeared out of the dark and threw himself at Mowgli's feet. He was badly hurt. It was Phao who spoke first.
What danger is there? What happened to you?
The dolls! Red dogs! The killers! They killed my 3 cubs and their mother. I followed their pack.
How many are there?
I don't know. I fought with some of them, and then I became the hunted one, myself.
What's your name?
One Tola.
The pack knew about the dolls. They knew that even the tigers feared them. They are only half the size of a wolf, but very strong, and they hunt in large numbers, at least 100. Mowgli knew about them and hated them too, because they destroyed everything around them. Akela wanted Mowgli to go to a safe place.
You have many more nights and days to live, little brother. Go north and hide. This fight is to the death.
I don't follow the pack anymore, but my father was a wolf, my mother was a wolf, and a good friend of mine is an old wolf who has been both a mother and a father to me. When the dolls come, Mowgli and the pack will hunt as one. You have my word.
One Tolla also tried to warn Mowgli, but the boy was angry and had no fear. He shouted out to the wolves of the pack.
We are the jungle. We will not run away from the red dogs.
The pack answered with one terrible howl. Mowgli ran off into the jungle to see how many dolls there were. He ran so fast that he fell flat on his face when he tripped over the great body of his old friend, Kaa.
Kaa, there you are. You grow bigger each time I see you. There's no one as strong, clever, and beautiful as you.
Mowgli sat down and Kaa curled up beside him, putting his great diamond head on the boy's shoulder. Mowgli told his friend about the wolves and the dholes. Kaa listened quietly.
Remember, you are a man, and that once the pack did not want you. Let the wolves hunt the red dogs by themselves.
It is true that I am a man, but tonight I am a wolf again. I'm one of the pack until the dolls have gone.
Kaa saw that Mowgli meant what he said. The huge python was older than some of the biggest trees in the jungle. He had seen many things and knew what to do.
We'll go to the river, and I'll show you how to kill dolls. Come.
The snake dived into the river. Mowgli followed, and throwing his arms around Kaa's neck, he held his body close to the snake's. They moved fast through the water. A mile or two down the river, they came to a place where the water cut through straight, high walls of rock. It was a strange place, and Mowgli had a bad feeling about it. But Kaa knew that they were not in danger at that moment. The wild, black, angry bees of India that covered the rocks above were asleep now.
They sleep at night. They are the only creatures the dolls fear. We'll use them to kill the enemy of your wolf friends.
Mowgli knew the bees were more dangerous than any other creature in the jungle. Everyone was afraid of their terrible numbers and deadly stings. They all stayed far away from this place. Mowgli, too, was afraid.
This is a place of death. Let's go.
As the water carried them, Kaa told Mowgli his plan.
You must make the dolls chase you to the edge of the cliff and jump into the river after you. The noise will wake the bees, and the dolls will die from their stings, or they will drown.
That's easy. I can say many things that will make them angry. They'll come after me.
Good. I'll be down here waiting for you. We must do it after dark, because the bees will be asleep then. The screams of the dolls will wake them and make them mad. If any dolls live, the wolves can get them further down the river.
Mowgli was excited by the plan.
Good hunting, Kaa.
Chapter 9. The Bee Rocks.
Next morning, Mowgli set off to find the Dhole Pack. This was just another adventure to him, and he felt brave and strong.
When I came into the jungle, I was Mowgli the cub. Now I'm Mowgli the wolf. Tonight, I must be Mowgli the ape, swinging through the trees. And then I must be Mowgli the deer, running for my life. At the end, I shall be Mowgli the man, greater than all others in the jungle.
Mowgli ran through the thick jungle, but he stopped about 2 miles from the bee rocks. There he climbed up a tree and waited. The sun was high in the sky when Mowgli heard the sound of many feet and caught the terrible smell of the Dhole Pack. There were nearly 200 of them under the tree. Mowgli knew he had to keep them there until the sun went down, because that was when the bees went to sleep. From up in the tree, he watched the red dholes carefully. They looked small, but Mowgli knew how strong their teeth were. Mowgli made noises and began to make the dholes angry. He let his foot down and waved his toes in their faces.
Dogs, red dogs, go back to your place. Go to the rats, your brothers.
The leader jumped up at Mowgli, and the boy pulled his foot away just in time. Then he lay on his branch and shouted down names at them. Mowgli knew well how to use the language of the animals. The dholes went from silence to low growls, and from low growls to loud howls. When their leader jumped high again, Mowgli used all his strength to catch him. He held the dhole by its tail and cut it right off him with his knife. The dhole fell to the ground howling. That was it. Now the pack could not leave. Mowgli climbed higher in the tree and slept. The dholes lay down to wait. Mowgli began to jump from tree to tree. Then he suddenly stopped and threw the tail down onto the ground.
Ha! Take your tail and follow it to the death.
He jumped down and ran like the wind for the bee rocks, with the pack close behind. The screams of the dholes woke the bees. The air grew dark with their angry buzzing, like black clouds of death. When Mowgli came to the edge of the cliff, he jumped into the river and swam to Kaa. The dholes followed. Many were killed by the bees. Others died when they hit the water, far below. Kaa held his young friend close and safe.
We must not stay here, little brother. It's too dangerous. Come.
They swam fast, and they often went under the water to get away from the bees all around them. Some dholes were fighting to stay alive in the water, but many drowned quickly. Mowgli heard the leader cry out to the other dholes.
Kill every wolf in their pack.
When Mowgli and Kaa came to a small beach, the wolves were there waiting for the few dholes who followed. Kaa saw the wolves, but he was no friend of theirs. He gently pushed Mowgli to the sandy edge and went his own way.
Good hunting, little brother.
The battle was long and terrible. Mowgli fought next to his 4 wolf brothers, they with their teeth, he with his knife. One Tolla killed the dhole leader. Soon the other dholes began to run, when Mowgli suddenly saw Akela lying on the ground, covered in blood.
Kill the red dogs, all of them. They have killed Akela.
Mowgli ran to the old wolf and fell on his knees next to him, while the wolves attacked the running dholes. Akela was still alive and spoke softly to his young friend.
I said this would be my last fight, little brother. It is good hunting. How are you?
I'm alive.
I will die soon, young friend. I want to die beside you.
Mowgli put his arms around Akela's neck. and the wolf rested his huge old head on the boy's knees.
You're a man, little brother. I owe you my life. Today you saved the pack, as I once saved you. Go to your people now. The hunting has ended. Go to your own people.
I will never go. I will hunt alone in the jungle.
You will go. There is no more to say. Help me to my feet.
Very gently, Mowgli helped his tired, broken old friend to his feet. Akela began to sing. He sang the death song that a leader sings when he is dying. His voice grew stronger and stronger, carrying far across the river until he fell down dead. Mowgli sat with his head on his knees, seeing nothing. The death of his old friend made him hurt inside. He sat there until the cold break of day.
Chapter 10. Leaving the Jungle.
2 years after Akela's death and the fight with the red dogs, Mowgli was no longer a boy. He was a man now, big and strong. Everyone in the jungle remembered the death of Shere Khan and the battle with the dholes. Mowgli was master of the jungle, and no one dared look him in the eye. The winter ended and the spring began. The animals called it the time of new life. Mowgli usually enjoyed this time of change. He knew that in this season, the jungle animals were very busy. This spring, however, he felt deeply unhappy, and he did not understand why.
I'm not hungry, I'm not thirsty, but I feel strange. My heart feels heavy. I must run fast and far to free myself of this unhappiness. My wolf brothers will come with me. We'll run together, and I'll be happy again.
He called for his wolf brothers, but they did not come. They were all busy making new families, as all jungle animals do every spring. They did not have time for Mowgli, so he was both angry and sad, and he ran alone. He ran and jumped from tree to tree until he was tired.
I run and run, but my heart still feels heavy.
He sat down on the ground alone. He remembered Akela's words.
Go to your own people.
But he did not want to leave the jungle.
Akela, Bagheera, Baloo, even Kaa. Why do they all tell me this? The jungle is my home. I don't want to leave my friends. I belong here.
His last words woke a wild buffalo in the water. Mowgli did not want to be alone, so he spoke to the buffalo. Misha the buffalo had the worst temper of all the animals in the jungle.
I don't care about the problems of man. Go and speak to your own kind in that village over there.
Men do not care about jungle stories, but I'll go and have a look at this village I have not seen before.
So, he went through the darkness into this new village. He did not know it was the village where Mesua now lived. It was only by chance that the first hut he came to was hers. When Mesua opened the door, she saw a man she did not know.
Who is it so late at night?
Have you forgotten me?
At the sound of his voice, she knew it was Mowgli and threw her arms around him.
My son! Oh, my son!
Slowly, the strange unhappiness left him as he ate and drank with Mesua. In his heart, he felt close to this woman and knew he was safe with her. He heard her news and found out that her husband was now dead. Then he slept all night and all the next day. When he woke, he heard a sound he knew well. Grey Brother was outside. When Mowgli got up to go, Mesua was afraid. What if he did not return?
Come back! Please come back, by night or by day. This door is never closed to you.
I will come back, I promise.
Mowgli went out and found Grey Brother waiting for him. The wolf was worried.
Oh, little brother. I have followed your trail for 30 miles to find you. What are you doing? Why have you returned to men?
I called you yesterday, but you didn't come.
Before Grey Brother could speak, a girl in a long white dress came down a path which led to the village. The wolf stepped quietly back. At first, Mowgli also hid and watched her from behind the trees. When the girl saw his shadow, she cried out, as if seeing a ghost. But when she saw him more clearly, she was no longer afraid. Their eyes met for a moment, and Mowgli felt a warm and happy feeling, a new feeling, as he watched her walk out of sight. Mowgli took a step forward in the girl's direction. He and Grey Brother were silent for a moment. Then the wolf growled to himself.
Man does go to man in the end. Our mother said it too, and so said wise Kaa.
Mowgli looked at his wolf brother.
Akela told me the same before he died. What do you say, Grey Brother?
Little brother, master of the jungle. I go where you go. I sleep where you sleep. Your kill is my kill. Your death fight is my death fight. But now, it is time for you to leave us and start your own family. You're a man now. When you saw the girl on the path, I could see in your eyes the light that comes with the time of new life.
Mowgli stopped and stood still. For the first time, he realized why he was unhappy. Now he knew that his friends were right.
One by one, they have their own families. They grow old and they die. I don't want to live alone anymore. I need a family of my own.
He knew it was time to tell the jungle.
Let's call a meeting at Council Rock, Grey Brother.
Grey Brother ran ahead of him through the jungle.
Come, all of you. Come to Council Rock. The master of the jungle returns to man.
In all the other seasons, most of the animals come to Council Rock when there is important news. But now, in the time of new life, only a few came. So, Mowgli found only the 4 wolves, Baloo, who could hardly see at all anymore, and Kaa lying on Akela's stone.
My friends, Grey Brother has called you here because the time of new life has come for me, too. It's time for me to leave the jungle and begin a family of my own, just as you do every spring.
Baloo was the first to speak.
Why talk? All of us have told you to be ready for this time. There's no reason to be ashamed of leaving us.
Kaa spoke then.
As a snake casts off the skin it no longer needs, and a new and brighter one appears. It's time for you to do the same. In time, it will bring you new happiness.
Grey Brother sat at Mowgli's feet.
But when you're in need, Master of the jungle is yours at a call. We will always be here for you when you need us. We who love you best.
But Bagheera bought my place here with a bull. I cannot...
Suddenly there was a loud noise in the trees, and Bagheera jumped down in front of Mowgli.
That's why I am late, little brother. When I heard Grey Brother's call, I knew what to do. It was a long hunt, but another bull lies dead by the river. The bull that frees you, Mowgli. Go now. Don't be sad. And remember, Bagheera loved you.
The Black Panther touched Mowgli's foot gently with his soft nose and then ran off into the night. Mowgli smiled. and looked one last time at his friends. Then he turned and ran his greatest run. He ran from the jungle, his friends, and his old life. But he was no longer sad. As he ran, with the jungle in his heart, he thought of his friends.
I will take your lessons with me. We are of one blood, you and I.